In the calm stillness of history, we find the story of Emperor Trajan, a man whose legacy stands tall among the greatest of Rome. Born in the town of Italica in the year 53 AD, far from the bustling heart of the Roman Empire, young Marcus Aurelius Trajanus lived in the warm hills of Hispania, now modern Spain. Italica was not the center of power, but it was a place of simple beauty where Trajan grew up surrounded by nature, watching the slow passage of the seasons. His childhood was one of discipline, learning the ways of both peace and war, with a quiet determination in his heart. His father, a distinguished general, taught him that greatness was not in titles or riches, but in service to others, in the loyalty one shows to their people and country. As the sun set on the horizon, one could imagine a young Trajan, dreaming of a future shaped by these lessons. As the years passed, Trajan's path led him to the Roman military. He rose through the ranks, respected by his peers, admired by his men. In battle he was fearless, but it was his actions off the battlefield that truly set him apart. There is a story told of Trajan when, during a particularly brutal campaign, one of his soldiers lay gravely wounded, struggling to survive. Without hesitation, Trajan knelt beside the soldier, tearing his own cloak to make a bandage, tying it tightly around the man's wounds. The soldier, in his pain, looked up and saw not just an emperor, but a man who cared, a leader who stood beside his men, even in the darkest moments. These were the quiet acts that endeared him to his soldiers, who saw in Trajan a reflection of their own struggles and hopes. When Emperor Nerva, who ruled Rome before Trajan, passed away, the Senate and the people of Rome looked to Trajan as their new leader. It was the year 98 AD, and the empire was vast, stretching from the far reaches of Britain to the deserts of Egypt. Trajan did not seek power for its own sake. He accepted the title of emperor with a deep sense of responsibility, knowing that to lead was not to rule from a distance, but to be present, to listen, and to serve. His first acts as emperor were not grand declarations of war or displays of wealth. Instead, Trajan focused on the needs of the people. He built roads and aqueducts, ensuring that fresh water flowed to even the farthest corners of the empire. He restored the grain supply, making sure that no Roman went hungry, and he worked tirelessly to rebuild the trust between the government and its citizens. Yet Trajan was also a man of action. His military campaigns were bold, most notably his conquest of Dacia, a region that lay beyond the Danube River. The Dacian Wars were difficult, fought in the harsh terrain of what is now Romania. Trajan personally led his legions into battle, a visible and inspiring presence among his soldiers. The victory over Dacia brought immense wealth to the empire, and with it, Trajan could continue his efforts to improve the lives of the Roman people. He commissioned the construction of Trajan's Forum, a magnificent public space filled with markets, libraries, and monuments. At the center stood Trajan's Column, a towering symbol of his achievements, adorned with intricate carvings that told the story of his conquests in Dacia. It still stands today, a testament to his vision and legacy. Despite his military successes, Trajan never lost touch with the simpler, quieter aspects of life. It is said that in the evenings, after the day's affairs had been settled, he would walk through the gardens of his palace. In these moments, he was not the emperor, but simply a man, reflecting on the journey that had brought him here. Perhaps he thought of his youth, of the peaceful days spent in Italica, running through the fields with his friends, chasing dreams that once seemed so distant. In the cool night air, under the vast Roman sky, Trajan found peace in these quiet moments. His leadership was marked not by grandeur alone, but by a deep connection to the land and the people he served. Trajan's reign was a time of expansion, but also of prosperity. Under his rule, the empire reached its greatest territorial extent, from the forests of Germania to the sands of Arabia. But for Trajan, True greatness was not in the size of the empire, but in the welfare of its people. He introduced social welfare programs, offering support to orphans and the poor, ensuring that even the most vulnerable had a place in Rome's future. His concern for justice and fairness extended beyond Rome's borders. Even as emperor, Trajan believed in the importance of law and order, of treating allies and subjects with respect. His humility, rare among rulers of his time, earned him the love and admiration of the people. As Trajan's reign came to a close, he left behind a legacy of balance, of strength and compassion, of power and humility. The Roman Senate declared him Optimus Princeps, the best ruler. Even after his passing, Trajan's memory lived on in the hearts of the people. New emperors, upon their rise to power, would be greeted with the wish, "May you be luckier than Augustus and better than Trajan." It was a reminder of the high standard he set, a ruler who understood that true leadership is not measured by the size of one's empire, but by the care and respect shown to its people. In the quiet halls of history, Trajan's name remains, whispered among the greatest leaders of Rome. He was a warrior, a builder, and a servant of the people. But above all, he was a man who led with his heart, leaving a legacy not just carved in stone, but etched in the lives of those he touched. And as the centuries pass, we remember Trajan, not just for his conquests or monuments, but for his humanity, the emperor who walked among his people,